Welcome back to Make Something with me, David Picciuto, and today we're going to take some inspiration from Lloyd Wright and make this mid-century modern birdhouse. Check it. Today we're going to build a birdhouse on the fly without plans. We have a few birdhouses around the yard, but we have this one in particular that definitely needs replaced. It's falling over. It's rotted, it's not looking so good, there's nothing in there. So we're just going to find some materials that we already have on hand and just kind of wing it today. No plans, willy-nilly. I'm a really big fan of Lloyd Wright houses, so maybe we'll kind of play off of some of his designs and just have fun today. So let's go see what we have in the shop. Yeah, so this is a nice piece of either maple or Baltic birch plywood, 3/4 inch. We're just going to use this. Going to draw up this vision that I have in my head. We'll have a bottom piece that will be the bottom, and then we'll have a roof, maybe a slanted roof, and it's slanted and it overhangs the actual house part, maybe right here. We drill a little hole, and then we have a little perch. Maybe we'll put in some little decorative support beams here. Not real sure. So we're just gonna see where this project takes us. Who knows? Maybe this design will completely change at the end. Maybe this will be an exact technical drawing. We have what's going to be the floor and then the roof. The depth on both of them is 9 inches. The floor is 11 inches and the roof is 12 inches. The roof is a little bit wider, longer, to give it a little bit more overhang. The dimensions may change over time. We're just playing around. We're going to see what happens. We're going by feel today. We are using plywood. Of course. Wait, let me come around. Of course you don't want to use plywood for a birdhouse. It's going to get wet and the laminations are going to come apart in the future. Of course this is the wrong material, but we're using what we have. And not everything that we make has to live for generations. Maybe this only lasts a year or 2 years. Of course you shouldn't use plywood. Of course you should be using solid wood like teak or cedar or maybe even pine. Of course. We're winging it, people. We're having fun. We got the floor, we got the roof. Let's make the front and the back. And we're gonna have a slope, I don't know, maybe that's? Who knows what angle that is. We'll lock that down. How about that? Does that look good? That look good? This guy is 6 inches wide. Let's come up 5.5 inches. So right there. And then we can use this guy and draw our slope. So now that we have this piece cut, we can take this and make our second piece, which will be the back. And we'll just draw a line on there and cut. So we have our two pieces. If you cut that on the bandsaw and you don't have a perfectly straight line, you can just hold them together and give it a little sand job. Put one piece back there, and then we'll put one piece up here, and then our roof is going to go on like so. So here is what I'm thinking. It looks a little too wide, so I'm gonna chop off this floor about right there. And then on the roof, I'm going to come, and then there we go, looking a little better now that it's not so wide, and we got the angles on there. That's going to add some little, if you know what I'm saying. So I think the next thing we need to do is make these two walls that go right there. We got the side pieces in there, cut them a little too tall. We're going to inset them a little bit just for some decoration. And I can set my blade to this angle and then cut that off and cut that off. And they are going to go in there like so, and then there. So that's our progress. It's looking pretty good. We're gonna add a lot of the detail later, I think. So the next thing I want to do is drill a little hole right here for the birds to get in there. Fun fact, I don't even like birds. The size hole that you drill will be dependent on the type of bird that you are looking to attract. Looking pretty good. So the next thing I want to do is drill some holes in the front here and drill some holes in the back to assemble this assembly. To do that, I'm going to use this Make It Snappy Tools kit with this countersink bit and my drill. Where I can take out that bit and throw in that bit. And this bit is going to drill the pilot hole and then countersink so the screw head sits below the surface. So now that I have those pilot holes drilled, I can switch this bit back out nice and quick. I've got this clamped together and I'm just going to screw it together. So now we are going to attach this to the floor. I want it to be about 1/4 of an inch inset from the back and then maybe 3/4 of an inch from the side there. And I'll just kind of mark out where this is, and we'll drill a hole here, a hole here, here, and I'm not going to countersink. I just want the hole to go through, so I'm not going to go the full depth. I'll show you why here in a second. So now on the bottom side, I can see where those holes are, and I can come through and countersink here. There we go, looking pretty good. I need to do the same thing with the roof here. So I'm just gonna find where I want it to go. Make sure there's a little overhang there. Mark my lines. Drill my holes from the bottom and then finish on the top. So that's basically the birdhouse. So now I'm going to cut some contrasting pieces of wood to cover up the plywood edges and to cover up the screws and fancy this guy up a little bit. Yeah. All right, we're done fancying this guy up. We got one last thing to do. So before we go and install this outside, I'd like to tell you about today's sponsor, and that is Make It Snappy Tools. I've been using them for like 2 years now, and even when they don't sponsor my videos, you will still see their tool pouches in my videos because it's super convenient to use. It makes life so much easier, and I really do love this quick change system. This set right here is the Maker's Edition Deluxe Toolbook, which has all the common bits that you would need for woodworking. It's got countersink bits, the drill bit adapters, the plug cutters, the bit drivers, the flat bottom counter bores, and the self-centering drill bits. Plus, it's got a depth stop system in there as well in this little pouch right here. I use this all the time almost in every single woodworking project. Now, you don't have to buy the full kit. You can just get an empty book and buy the bits and pieces that you need as you go. This is my favorite feature about Make It Snappy tools. If you get the quick change chuck, you pull back on that, you can pull out your bit driver, you put in your drill bit, you're good to go. It's locked in there solid. This particular quick change chuck is made for the Festool drills, and they also make one for regular drills as well. What I love about this kit is I can just zip this up, take this in the house, take my drill. I don't need two drills, just one single drill, or I can go over to the other side of the shop where I'm working and I have all the common bits and drivers. They have a couple different versions of this book available on their website, and if you don't need all of those bits and drivers, they do have smaller pouches that you can put on your tool belt. I have a link to everything down below in the video description. Thank you, Make It Snappy Tools. Now let's go install this birdhouse. I did add that fender washer on the outside, and this is a trick that I learned from my grandpa, is that it keeps the larger birds from gnawing away at the hole and making the hole bigger. So thank you, Grandpa, for that trick. Yes, I went a little overboard, and that's what made it so fun. We had some extra roofing shingles from when we moved in, so I used that for the roof. We just used some stones, some aquarium stones that I had for the front. If I could change anything, I would have used something that's a little bit more colorful for the front stone. I would have preferred like a river rock type look, but I just used what I had. Also, the little perch, I wish that was metal just so it would match the fender washer on there to give that some continuity, but we're just using what we have today. And yeah, it looks pretty good. It might not last forever, and that's okay. It's all about having fun and just making stuff. So thank you for watching. As always, be safe, have fun, stay passionate, and make something.